And welcome to our third episode of Keeper of Dead. We last left our party as they had traveled out of the good graces of Tom and Tibby and the comforts of home at the halfway inn, and they've worked their way down to the shore to seek passage on the river. They've decided to go the route of the river in search of this relic they are seeking for Rukior the Antiquarian. And as they arrived at the river, they encountered no ships, no boats, nothing at the dock. They only found wreckage from the swollen river from the night storm. But going downstream, they encountered a gentleman by the name of Dredger, who has informed them that he has a boat and he will gladly take them. And with some convincing, he has agreed to do so. So, as we left off, you were all in your sitting in Dredger's boat as you begin working your way, paddling up down the swollen river toward your presumed destination. And as you go, the river is definitely it's a bit perilous. It's not always like that. There are areas where the river is rushing more than others, and usually the river is high enough that there isn't really much risk of you crashing into rocks on the bottom of the river. But there are definitely obstacles here and there. Dredger has to kind of paddle to get out of the way of fallen trees, and here and there's areas where the river turns and you kind of bump up against the shore a little bit, and it's a little bit scary at first, but he clearly knows what he's doing as he navigates up or down the river. And you travel for quite a few miles, it seems. Your destination is not nearby.
Okay. At some point during the journey, I take up a stance like George Washington crossing the Delaware for no apparent reason. Just because it makes me feel special.
Roll a what?
Roll a dexterity check.
Dexterity check.
Oh, man.
10 plus 3 is 13. Do I fall on my ass?
You fall over almost immediately, but you don't fall in the water.
Yes.
Okay. Good.
Sorry,
You just fall right on your butt.
That's okay.
And we
and you
all
kind of
laugh.
land in the
Okay.
bottom. You land in the bottom of the boat, and you get some water on your pants, and it's just not. You got to sit in that for the whole rest of the day now.
Oh,
I
drat.
laugh at you.
That was the point. It's okay as long as my friends are laughing, right? Right?
Not laughing at you, I'm laughing with you. You did stand up in the boat, so.
Yep.
Rule 1 of boats.
Yeah.
Sit down, don't rock the boat.
Yes.
Don't rock the boat.
All right,
So you continue down the river for quite some ways, and eventually you kind of reach an area where it's still rushing, it's still swollen, but it's not rushing as fast, and it seems like it's getting more shallow and marsh-like. You kind of enter into an area of what is basically currently basically a mangrove swamp, where you have the river has swollen above the level of the shore, and you are sort of surrounded by trees that are just rising directly out of the water. But the water kind of goes off in all directions, and Dredger kind of begins to sort of paddle off of the main river and down what's basically a little tributary where it's a thinner creek. It's more like a creek. The water is much calmer here, but it is still swollen above its normal level. And you get the idea that you're officially in the Gartooth swamp now.
all right. Well, swamps are creepy.
As you kind of begin down this creek, Dredger, he was paddling kind of frantically here and there to counterbalance with the
current
speed of the current to keep from getting out of control and crashing into things. But now he's paddling more slowly, and it looks like he's doing it for more than just to relax. He's got very built-up arms. He looks like he could paddle for days on end, but right now it looks like he's intentionally being cautious.
Dredger, what sort of things?
Is that?
What sort of things lurk in these swamps?
Oh, all manner of things, I would say. And he's kind of like, he's talking to you, and he's also looking around, kind of cautiously, keeping an eye on basically everything. He's keeping an eye in the water. He's keeping an eye in the trees. He's keeping an eye above and below, and he's speaking in an even voice. He's not whispering, but he's keeping his voice low. He's like, well, for one thing, they call it the Gartooth bog for a reason. You find giant gars in the water. They're big enough to tip a boat over, so keeping an eye out for them. All manner of large creatures. We are in the heart of the forest, as it were. This forest is old. It's very old, and there's all manner of creepy crawly in these here parts that you don't find most other places, and some of them are hungry and large.
I imagine. And we should all keep our eyes peeled.
Yes.
You look around, and now that he's kind of brought your attention to it, this place is definitely very alive. You can hear birds in the trees. You can hear insects everywhere. You see mosquitoes are prevalent, and they're paying you a great deal of attention. They're just normal mosquitoes. They're not particularly significant or anything, but you see dragonflies flying here and there, and before long you see a dragonfly skim across the water with a wingspan of about 3 feet. It's a gigantic dragonfly, and you watch as it catches a bird in midair and flies off.
So the insects eat the birds here?
Oh, yeah.
Something unnatural about this place. I'm feeling a little unsettled.
I audibly gulp and
Yeah.
sit down lower into the boat because I am small and tasty.
You're not going to stand up and George Washington the boat again now that we're
No.
going slowly?
Dredger kind of like chuckles morosely, and he's like, that was not one of the big ones. That was not one of the big ones.
What kind of creature was that?
It's just a large dragonfly. Got a lot of them. Small ones too, if you like. That's one of the reasons I don't swim, because the larvae are just as large and they live down there.
Okay. Let's not go in the water.
I try
Glad
to
you
control
didn't.
my
Avoid
volume.
it. You keep going kind of deeper and deeper. The woods grow more and more kind of ominous. You can hear the sound of the insects in all directions. It's just the typical trilling of crickets and grasshoppers and cicadas and things like that you'd expect to hear in a swamp, but many of them are deeper in tone and timbre, and they carry louder. They sound as if they are not from your typical sized insects, and you do see several more large dragonflies, some of them noticeably larger than the one you saw, just skimming here and there. For the moment, they're not paying any direct attention to you, but they're clearly
How much
a
farther
symptom
into
of
we're
what's to
going to
come.
dock?
I'm huddling
there's no
closer and closer to the
dock
fighter
where you're
now.
going.
What was that?
There's no dock where you're going. It's you're deliberately asking me to go into pretty much the middle of nowhere right here. We're just going to find a place where you can get out close to your destination. You're still going to have to go through part of the swamp. You're going to want to be careful. And I'm not following you. I did not agree to that. I'm going to stay here. But you've got a couple of miles left to go before we get there.
Is there any solid ground that we can walk on?
Looking around, you don't see any solid ground anywhere. There are tall grass that go about 6 feet up from where you are, and it looks like it goes further down normally when the river's not swollen, but you don't see anything you could stand on. The water below looks to be about 10, 15 feet deep. So you wouldn't be able to really find any footing. Here and there's little tussocks of kind of matted weeds, and you do see several more fallen trees that are large and covered in moss that you could potentially climb on if you had to, but no ground anywhere. And the deeper you go into this creek, the taller the trees are. That before, where they were redwood, now they are genuinely prehistoric in size. They are massive trees. They're at their base, they're a good 30 to 40 feet wide, and they go at least 200 to 300 feet up there. And there's branches with moss hanging down here and there. Gradually, as you go deeper, the sun is filtering through more and more foliage, and it's getting a bit darker as you proceed. You're definitely in the heart of what is a very old forest.
Mr. Dredger, you do intend to put us on solid ground at least before you turn around, yes?
Oh, I'm telling you, it's solid ground for sure. Generally, the spot where you got right there, it's kind of where the foothills of the mountains meet up with the marshland, so it'll be solid ground there, I would hope. But not very solid ground, and not safe ground, I would say. So you'll want to keep your wits about you.
Duly noted.
Mm-hmm.
As you continue down this creek for what seems like ages, suddenly, like in the midst of the conversation you're having at the time, Dredger holds up a finger and goes, "Shh." And he looks around. He's looking at the water. Nobody move. You watch as a ripple, a massive ripple, kind of courses around the water. You look off to the side, and some ways off behind you, you see a fin kind of breach the surface of the water. A fin that is larger than your boat as it slaps into the water again.
Well, that was terrifying. I don't know about you guys.
He goes, "Shh."
I poop my pants a little.
Everybody roll a stealth check.
That's dexterity untrained, right?
Yep. Oh,
Well, you're a fighter. You're not supposed to.
I am not stealthy. I got a
Good.
6. Modified 6.
Oh man, I get an unmodified 19 plus.
Modified 19.
I got a modified 20.
22.
Okay.
Yeah.
As you watch, you look in where the fin went in the water, a swell of water comes in your direction. It looks like if you saw a torpedo heading toward you, but slower and larger. The waves emanating off this thing are like the waves from behind a ship. And as you look over the side of the boat, you see as a head shaped like a barracuda, but 8 feet long, passes by underneath your boat with one giant eye the size of a plate, kind of staring up at you as this gigantic fish passes by your boat. And as it keeps going, you see stripes of its scaly skin as it continues past. You see a massive fin, again larger than the boat you're sitting on, and you watch as the feet of fish pass by underneath your boat. But it continues on ahead of you and kind of diverges down another path. Dredger just kind of holds his breath and then waits and then waits and then waits and then finally exhales and says, "That's one of the big ones. And he begins paddling again.
Okay.
Well,
That, my friends, is why they call it Gartooth Swamp.
That was a Gartooth.
That was a gar.
That was a gar.
A giant gar. I've seen them bigger, but not that close. We were lucky just now. They can definitely tip a boat, and they will. So he continues paddling downstream. You see more giant insects pass by, but again, they don't pay much attention. And then off in the distance, over the brush, you see a particularly large dragonfly, about 6 feet long, fly above the ground, and you see this gargantuan fish, shaped like a barracuda, jump out of the ocean, grab it in midair, and drag it down into the water with a gigantic splash that you can see from a good 20 to 30 feet away. And he just continues rowing onward.
I definitely huddle closer to the meat shield.
I'm really glad I have this cloak right now.
Yeah. It's a good thing you guys did pretty well in your stuff.
And to help
you
me.
continue down this path for quite a ways, and by the time you seem to be getting towards closer to your destination, it's nearing sunset, but you finally find that you can see some large boulders here and there mixed in with the weeds and wreckage of trees and things. And you can tell that you can see kind of off on the horizon the mountains that you've been kind of running alongside for a while. They grow kind of closer, and you can see some hills not terribly far away, and it looks like you're coming close to your land destination.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Mm-hmm. I'm getting antsy in this boat.
At last, you kind of come to this point where, like, Dredger's rowing, and his paddles are kind of tangling in weeds and reeds, and he rows with great effort. He kind of like goes, just pushing the paddles and working his way as close to the land as you can get. You can see sort of this place where there's a little rise out of the muck, and you can see dry land for the first time in hours. And he drags you as close as he can to it. And he's like, well, folks, this is where my journey comes to an end and yours continues. So I'll go on and get out here. I'm not going to go any farther than this. You're on your own from there on in. I'll wait here. I'll stick around for 24 hours. And then if you're back by then, I'll take you with you. If not, you're probably dead.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. Thank you, sir.
So he kind of hops out of the boat into the water and kind of wades with it and drags it up on shore, stakes it into the ground, and kind of pushes it up onto the dry land as much as he can. And you all get out, you take your belongings with you, and he sets up what he sort of starts setting up his own little tent. And he's like, you're welcome to stay here if you want for the duration of the evening, but you might want to try and get a little bit of ground ahead of you before you do. You got a ways to go to get to your destination.
How about we move along a little bit? What do you guys say?
Yup.
I really want to get to those mountains.
Yeah. Let's head out.
Okay. So he continues setting up his camp behind you as you guys begin hiking up the slope ahead of you. You're clearly not entirely out of the marshlands. The hill you're on seems more like a small island, as it were. You're still on dry land as you kind of crest the hill and go forward, but there's also marshland all around you, and it's your feet kind of sink into the muck here and there, and you continue trekking onward, but you find another hill pretty soon, and it does look like you're finally beginning to come out of the worst of the swamp.
Oh, well, pleasant.
I would say at this point you'll want to do another survival check to continue on your journey.
I got an 11 modified. It's terrible.
12.
12. Okay, good. Oh, that's bad.
Okay. You feel like you have the general idea of where you're headed. You're not entirely sure how to compensate for the change in the terrain brought on by the rainfall, because that has sort of changed the way the land masses seem to be shaped based on the current levels of water. Like, your map is not necessarily designed to sort of give fine detail, so it's kind of hard for you to kind of work your way around the land masses and the portions of water that you're near. So it's tricky. You're not entirely sure you're exactly on track, but you know you're headed in at least the general direction.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
As you go on, you encounter one of these gigantic trees that has fallen over. It is a tremendous fallen log, again, hundreds of feet long, 30 feet high, towering above you, just this massive dead tree with roots kind of going up into the treetops where they're kind of intertwining around each other. It looks like it, and beneath it, this deep basin where, like a giant pond from where the roots had been previously. And it's kind of blocking your original path.
Can I climb it?
You can try.
I would be the only one who could climb it, though.
Well, if you threw a rope down, dude.
Okay.
Probably all.
And yeah, if you threw a rope down and you anchored it,
Okay. Well, I can climb it. I have climb, so.
yay!
Well, you can attempt to climb it.
I can attempt
Roll
to
a
climb
climbing
it.
check, and we'll see if you can climb it or not.
Oh, no.
Did you get a critical one?
No, I got a 3.
That's like a critical one, but 3
Plus
times as good.
9, so that's 12.
Okay. Here's what happens.
Oh, no.
I didn't like that look on his face at all.
It's not terribly hard to get a grip on this tree because it is so large that its bark is very knobbly. There's plenty of places to get handholds on it. It's not hard to scale.
Uh-huh.
As you climb, you make it most of the way up this tree, and you reach and you grab onto something. It feels like a branch, and it moves in your hand.
Oh. Ah.
And suddenly you see a gigantic 8-foot-long centipede crawl out from under the scuttle around.
Why do you have to be a bug?
It rears at you and attacks you.
Oh, okay.
I guess technically you're caught flat-footed, so it just kind of automatically gets to
the
attack
drop
you.
on you.
But we're finally getting to roll some combat now.
Yeah,
And then she gets to fall, and
to my death and
Yeah, you're about
over.
15 feet above the ground.
Oh, great.
Well, that's not
he gets-
terrible.
Okay, he gets a.
Does he get a
What's his
surprise attack?
Yes, but he only gets a 6 to attack this time.
All right.
Okay, so what do I roll?
So you're
Yep.
looking at your flat-footed armor class. So it's 10 plus your dexterity plus your, or no, 10 plus just your armor bonuses, because dexterity doesn't matter.
so your armor class minus your dex mod, if you had one.
My dex is +1.
So you don't get that. So
I don't get that.
So take a look at your shield.
I have half plate armor.
Yep. So that gives you plus what?
8.
Oh wow. So, all right. So that's fine.
yeah.
But like, he does. Yeah, he doesn't hit you. I'm gonna let the DM go ahead and narrate what actually happens. But
He does not hit you.
Okay.
Roll a dexterity check.
For Dex. Okay, what was Dex again? +1. 15 modified.
Okay. You don't fall off the log.
Whew, good.
You are currently in position. But now it is time for you to roll initiative.
Okay. So what do I roll for initiative? So I don't know anything.
Roll a
D20.
d20 and then add your
Okay.
dexterity modifier.
Okay. 9 modified.
Okay. He gets to move first. He had his first attack for free because he surprised you.
Right.
So he gets to attack you again. This time he has a. This time he's got a 14 to hit.
Well, it still doesn't hit you.
He slashes at you with his fangs. He's got these gigantic fangs that are like the size. Each of his mandibles is the size of your arm, your entire arm,
Oh,
and it just pinches them together like inches above your head. You manage to kind of like drop down a little bit on the log, and it just goes right above your head. But it quickly like turns its head towards you, and it's this gigantic head the size of your entire body, and it just kind of stares at you with these giant black eyes.
okay. Can I attack now?
This is
Yes.
great.
Okay, so what do I roll for attack?
Oh man, I need some popcorn. This is great. All right, so you're rolling your you should be rolling melee. I'm
Okay.
assuming that you want to go at it with your axe.
Well, I don't think I can because my axe is two-handed,
Oh yeah.
True.
and I'm holding on to the side of the tree, so I'm
You
assuming
have
I'm gonna have
you have
to
a
do.
movement and an attack, so you could use your movement to get down off the tree, but then you would also be out of melee range with the centipede.
If I
He
do that,
probably-
then the rangers
he's
can have the. What was that?
He'll probably follow you
Yeah.
if you come down.
Can I hit him and then move?
Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll
But
try to
you
hit-
also you have to use both hand or at least one hand to hold on to the.
Yeah, I have a
So the-
one-handed short sword
You can do that.
that I can attack him with. But there's only 1d6 damage, but
That's okay.
It's worth it.
so I will try to hit him first, and then I'm going to climb down after. I'm going to try to stab him in between those black eyes
Okay.
with my short sword, and then climb down, and hopefully my friends here will
Yeah.
help me attack this
Yeah.
giant creepy crawly thing that has.
So, all right. So you're gonna roll
Okay.
your melee, which is a d20. You're a fighter, so it should be +5. Yeah, it should be that plus. Yeah, d20 +5 should be it,
Okay.
unless you've got a magic weapon.
No.
Okay.
15. I rolled
Okay,
15.
you successfully hit him.
Okay. Right between
That's
the eyes.
fairly.
Beautiful.
All right, now I'm
Now-
going to climb down. And do I
Now
have
you
to
gotta roll
roll?
damage.
You got to roll damage, which is a d6 plus your strength modifier.
Okay. And strength is +4.
So roll d6 +4.
2, so 6 damage.
Okay, so you try to pierce it right between the eyes, and you do successfully pierce its thick armored chitinous carapace, but it doesn't go in very deeply, and it seems like it's not necessarily doing that much damage to it. It
I
kind
just
of
pissed
reels
him off.
away and goes like, it kind of hisses viciously at you, and then kind of scuttles back around and gets ready for its next attack. But you're kind of able to sort of drop your way down quickly to the
Okay.
ground and kind of you sort of stand at the ready at the base of the.
Okay,
the
now I
log.
pull out my two-handed axe.
Okay.
Okay,
But
that's ready.
is
for
anybody
that.
else joining in the fight?
Yeah,
Guys.
do we need to roll initiative or not?
Yeah, roll initiative.
Initiative is fun.
15.
8. I'm going last.
Yeah.
I rolled a 4.
Nice.
You're not going last, Dante.
Oh man.
No.
Jinxed it right there.
Well, what's
It's a
is
modified
these-
Hopefully
four,
one
right?
of you will kill it.
Wait, is
Is
that
it
a
a
modified 4, Izzy?
No, what do I use to modify it again?
You add your dexterity.
dexterity mod?
The mod. Oh, so that's a 7.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I'm still not going last.
So it should be. I think it's Mark the Centipede Mark the Centipede, Regina, Isabella, and then Dante.
Okay.
Oh, goody.
Hey, let's get some action going here.
Woo!
Yeah.
I get to use a spell finally.
Yay!
All I gotta do is find the page that it's on. So I will be attempting to blast it with searing light.
Nice.
Yeah.
And has a range of medium, so 100 feet. And it's a ray. It has no saving throw. Does have spell resistance.
Okay.
So, do I actually need to roll anything to hit it with my spell?
No, it would automatically hit. You roll
Okay.
damage. Or
So it's 2d8 for my damage. So 13 points of damage.
Nice. You hit it, and it just kind of like this glowing blast of energy strikes the centipede, and it hits it right in its like midsection as it's kind of scuttling its way down the tree trunk, and you take off a gigantic chunk of its carapace and several of its legs, and it kind of like curls and twists around itself in agony, and it hisses angrily. It's clearly been damaged significantly by that attack.
Good. And you said it attacks next now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. It's pissed off.
Where'd your camera go, Dante?
I turned it off for a second. I'm
Okay.
back.
Okay. There we go. Okay. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't like
No.
Hangouts being weird.
Nope. That was me.
Okay. So it kind of reels around, and it's still like its tiny arthropod brain is not necessarily strong enough to process that it is being more directly threatened by the cleric. So it continues its search on the target directly in front of it. It kind of scuttles back down and attacks again with another gigantic bite. And this time it comes in with 17 to hit.
Still not enough.
Still not enough.
Right?
So kind of like
Your plate meal's +8, right?
Yes.
So your
All right,
total
yeah.
AC is 19, right?
Yes.
okay. Yeah, it's still it kind of clacks at you with its fangs, and it like sinks one fang into the armor of your forearm, but it doesn't really pierce anything, and it kind of like tries chewing on you a little bit, but it doesn't manage to actually pierce your armor. So you've successfully deflected its current attack on you.
All right. So now I can take at it with my axe.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is what I've been waiting for. All right. So how do I roll no, I don't roll damage. So I roll what first?
It's a D20
D20.
plus your base attack bonus, which is 5 for a fighter, plus
Okay.
any other additional modifiers that you have for like weapon mastery or masterwork weapon or anything like that.
Yeah, I don't have anything like that.
Which- Okay, so just
Yeah.
D20 plus 5.
Okay. 9.
Modified?
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
Mm-hmm. My
Yeah.
dice hate me tonight. Sorry, guys.
Your blow has the exact same effect that its blow had on you. You kind of like you swing at it, but its carapace is thick and armor-like, and it just kind of like skitters across. It just kind of glances off, and it maybe chips off a bit of chitin and skims off its surface, otherwise not causing it any harm.
I just make him more mad.
Yeah, it's definitely
Hisses at me again.
It's going, it's just snarling, and you can see venom dripping from its fangs as it's kind of like getting ready for its next pounce on you.
All right.
All right, who's up next? Is it me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to try to go ahead and make this guy a real easy target for you. I am going to go ahead and do the Doctor Strange thing. Cast Hypnotic Pattern, which goes ahead and shoots out a colorful rainbow of shimmering light, which is going to fascinate 2d4 hit die worth of creatures, plus my caster level. So let's do this. I don't actually have a d4, so I'm resorting to using the electronic dice for this one. Not happy about it.
Shame. Where's a bell? I should have a bell and ring it for you.
I'm shunned. Shunned the non-believer. Shunned. Okay, so 2d4 plus 5. Come on, stupid dice roller. Let's make this work. All right. I hit 12 hit die worth of creatures. Is this thing more than 12 hit die?
I'm pretty sure we're not playing the game Centipede, so I don't think it breaks into several different centipedes, so it counts as one.
Sounds awesome. Yeah. So it does get a saving throw. Will completely negates this.
Will, okay. Its will is 6.
And it doesn't even come close.
I didn't think so. It's a bug. It doesn't have that much willpower.
All right. So this will last for as long as I concentrate plus 2 rounds. So right now it is going to... Yeah, it's basically just kind of standing there and gets a -4 to all applicable checks.
Ooh.
Yep.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, your blast strikes it, and it just dazzles with color, and it kind of like sort of twitches. It goes like
okay.
It doesn't seem to know how to process what's happening to it, and it just kind of like stands there scuttering around, its legs twitching spasmodically, but it's not actually going anywhere.
Okay. Next attack. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and do this thing. All right. I can hold him. Your next hit better count.
It's all you, Izzy.
So now it's me.
Mm-hmm.
How far away is it?
He's gonna get another will save for every time that you attack him.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're pretty close. It's you were standing pretty near to the base of the fallen tree when she was climbing it, so you're still pretty close to where it is. About 10 feet.
I can't use my ranged longbow.
Sure you can. 10 feet away, yeah.
Yeah, you're 10 feet away. You can use it.
Sweet. Okay. So how do I do this?
So D20.
D20.
Plus your base attack bonus, which, goodness, it's probably plus. I think it might be +4 for a ranger at this level.
Okay.
But it should be somewhere on your character sheet. Your base. So.
I don't know where that would be. Crap.
I'm checking right now and got the book open.
Okay. Well, I rolled a 14.
You rolled a 14?
You rolled a 14 plus the base attack bonus plus dexterity.
Plus dexterity.
Yeah.
18, 17, plus whatever the...
Okay, you hit it.
Yeah.
Its AC is 15, so you hit
it. So, basically, we're looking for 15.
Yeah.
Sweet, I definitely hit it.
Yeah, you hit it. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Oh. Damage is how much? 20? A D20?
Yeah, it's a D20. No. Sorry. No, not a D20. For a longbow, I believe it's D6, just a straight up D6.
You might have put it in your
I did.
under offense. That's where I think we put the weapon.
And
Right
actually,
above skills.
Izzy, your base attack bonus for level 5 is +5. So there's
I
a
definitely-
Okay, cool. So Ranger does qualify in that fighter class. Okay. Or the fighter progression.
it's
BAB.
a D8.
Okay.
All right, cool. So D8, and that's it. You do not
Two.
get
2.
2. All right, well,
You got 2.
God.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your arrow successfully pierces into part of its chitinous hide, but it barely does anything. It goes all the way through.
Come on.
We got to get that priest back up
Pierces
there
all the way
again.
through. You can see the feathers of the bow's fletching sticking right out of the base of the carapace. The arrow's all the way in, but this creature just it's barely affecting it. It's too simple of a creature for that
Damn
kind of a blow.
tiny brain.
okay. It's going to get another will save
Yep.
against me.
It's got an 8.
Nope, not
I
even
think so.
close. All right, so
So do we circle back and then mark attacks again?
we circle back.
Okay.
I'm going to run up on it and attempt to plant my morning star squarely up top its head.
Nice.
Nope, 13.
No. Your blow kind of like bashes against its mandible, and it kind of like it jerks its head off to the side, and as the blow strikes it, and it just kind of scrapes across the side of its carapace. You can see you've left scratches across its shell, but it hasn't affected it at all. And now it takes its turn, and it attacks. Nera for 16.
For 16.
Not enough to hit.
Which isn't going to hit you.
Enough hit. Okay.
No. It kind of, again, it's sort of like, it's still sort of twitching, and
Right.
it just isn't together, so it like completely misses your head. It like chomps at the air right next to you, and you hear the sound of a clap as its fangs come together with enough force to pierce through bone, but it's just past your head because it's currently still dazzled and it can't see what it's doing. So it just barely misses you. And
Okay.
it's your turn.
Now I attack again with the great axe. And I roll again. I roll a d20 again, right, for first.
Yep. D20 plus 5 plus
Plus
strength.
5. Okay. Plus strength is 4. Yeah.
You need to try really hard to miss this guy.
14 plus 5 plus 4 is 23.
Yeah, you got it. I roll damage.
Damage is d12.
Damn.
Well,
Plus
D12
it's
plus your strength.
Plus
D12
my
plus
strength.
strength.
right. Plus 4. D12 plus 4.
Mm-hmm.
6. Modified.
Okay.
Jesus.
You smash you get it right in its head, and you manage to crush part of its head piece, the segment of its armored exoskeleton with its head. It collapses in on itself. There's this crunch. As you can see, part of its head is now misshapen. One of its eyes has kind of been crunched in on itself and is oozing ichor and fluids, and one of its fangs is now kind of disjointed out of place. It looks very badly damaged.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I love it. This is why you're a
Why
fighter.
would it die?
Oh, goodness.
Because we're level 5. If we were level 1, it would be dead already, but we're level 5, so it has to give us a little bit more
That's,
Mhm.
fight.
that's how it works.
Huh?
That's how it works.
Yes. All right.
Okay.
All right,
so
so
Dante's up again, yeah.
okay, cool. I'm going to break my concentration on the hypnotic pattern. It's still there, but I'm not.
Oh, it has to roll
concentrating on
a
it.
save because it took
Yeah, it
damage.
has to roll its will save for the last one.
Got 12.
Nope, not even close.
Okay.
All right, it got closer, but still not
Yeah.
close.
It's trying.
All
It's
right.
trying.
Let's try it. So,
Yeah.
I've been waiting all session for this. I'm going to cast Magic Missile at the darkness.
Yes.
Please.
I'm really excited. So I roll 3d4 plus 3, and I believe Magic Missile is an auto hit.
Yeah, it is.
It is an auto hit. No saving throw. Fantastic. So we're going to go ahead and 3d4 damage plus 3 is 12, right to the face.
You burst it with this torrent of energy as these arcs of arcane magics fly out of your hands towards this creature. Pummel it in the face. 1, 2, 3. Just energy, this beam of glowing light strikes this creature head on, and you watch as it kind of bunches back. Its middle section kind of rises up of the ground. It's driven backward by the force of this blow. You hear a crunching sound as that front part of this creature kind of implodes under the damage. As the sparks dissipate, you look and you see that this creature's head has been turned inside out. It has completely crumpled under the onslaught. It spasms crazily with its death throes, and then finally curls up into a ball on the ground, dead.
Like
Oh,
a
God,
roly-poly?
that
Like when
is-
you stick a roly-poly and it curls in on itself?
Yeah,
Yes.
except without a head.
Right.
That is the most metal thing that I've heard all week. So great. In character, I go ahead and go.
Nice. Yep, it lies there dead, and as you kind of take in the surroundings, you feel accomplished for the time being, but you also know there is much left to be done, and we will cover that in our next episode.
All right.
Yes.
Yay!
Yay.
We got a boss fight, kind of.
We killed things.
We
Killed
killed a bug.
it.
Yay.
guys-